All right, my lovely friends, we have to talk. We really, really do. So today, stocks finished higher across the board. Nothing dramatic. Pretty much a 0 day. Stocks are in a range yet again. It seems to be the norm. However, if you follow this blog or if you pay attention to anything, you realize that we haven't had one single piece of good economic news, and as far back as I can remember. I'm sure it's the same for you. Well, today we got definitive proof that the U.S. economy is contracting, and yet stocks still put on a gain. Let's back up. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Morgan Stanley Business Activity Index had the largest decline in history. All right. And again, the market, of course, shrugs that off. Doesn't matter. And today, we get the Chicago PMI, which has now fallen into contraction. The signs are everywhere. And the one thing everyone's ignoring is the yield curve, which we don't have one, pointing towards recession, pointing towards economic downturn. Doesn't matter to the stock market at all right now. And again, it just goes back to what we realize is going to happen. Central banks, again, I'm going to say it, are about to light up and go nuclear. All of them, in unison. And this is going to start this month with the Federal Reserve rate cut. I was tossing around the premise of what would happen versus, let's say, a 50 basis point cut versus a 25. There's a lot of people out here. Well, first of all, there's a lot of people out here who believe that the Fed's not going to act at all. I think that group of people, their thinking is off a little bit. Who knows? I could be proven to be wrong. It would only be the second time, literally, in over a decade that I've been calling the Federal Reserve. I've only been wrong one time. So let's factor this all in. We got, again, another round of abysmal economic news. The U.S. economy is contracting. The world is slowing down, and that had a lot to do with what happened to crude oil today. Towards the end of the day, crude oil sold off. Of course, if we're slowing down, there's going to be less demand. However, expect false flags, expect OPEC to act. Crude oil will be propped up. Every mechanism you can dream about is being utilized right now to keep stocks propped up. And today was a classic example. So again, the banks are strong. They all passed the stress test, and the Fed gave them all the green light to buy back enormous amounts of shares of their own stock. Boom, up they go. Financial sector, largest sector of them all, pulls the market up. So, I mean, that's a little charade that's going on. It's a game. We do not have a free market. We do not have a free market economy whatsoever anymore. It's all engineered. It's all rigged. It's all fake. And it doesn't matter because the Fed is going to step in. Now, let's talk a little further. So, we're going to get a rate cut, in my view. If the Fed does not cut 50 basis points, the market is not going to like it, and the market could sell off. The market is pricing in a 50 basis point cut, in my opinion. It might even go further than that. Again, in my opinion, the Federal Reserve is pricing in, the market is pricing in a 50 basis point cut to the federal funds rate, followed up by another. Now, what that other one will be, I don't know. We'll evaluate that at the time. So, in the event that the Fed cuts just 25 basis points, the market's not going to be happy. Now, some of this hinges on what may come out of the G20. There's all this talk of a truce now, a truce between China and the United States. But I thought we weren't in a trade war. So if we're not in a trade war, why do we got to call a truce? You see what I'm talking about? They play with these words. Of course we're in a trade war. They don't want you to know that, but they're hoping for a truce. You got it? You can't make it up. This is their words, not Greg Mannarino. So there's a couple of hypotheticals here. If a truce is called, the markets will respond positively because it's going to anticipate that stage one maybe in getting some kind of a deal. So that had a lot to do also with the surge in stocks at the last 15 minutes or 10 minutes. Did you see what happened? The Dow Jones Industrial Average was about at the flat line, looking to go negative, and all of a sudden, last 15 minutes, it shot up. So there's a lot of speculation that there's going to be this truce. You can't make it up, I swear to you. No matter how stupid it sounds, because we're not in a trade war, there's going to be a truce because of the trade war that we're not in. You know that. So if that happens, that'll be stock market positive, and the Fed may just have to cut 25 without a truce, all right? Because no deal is going to get made. The market is expecting a 50 basis point cut. This should make a lot of sense to you, especially understanding that we are in economic freefall. Our economy is falling off of a cliff. And if any of the Democrats on the stage last night and the night before had even one functioning brain cell, they would be able to put this all together and hit President Trump on his failing economy. So either they're completely blind, which is probably the truth. I don't think any of them could rub two nickels together and realize that that's what they were doing when it comes to understanding the economy, when it comes to understanding this twisted financial distortion that we are in, and how it's all being faked and propped up. We're not hearing anything about exploding debts, exploding deficits, the debt bubble, the issue that we have with the currency. Okay, the currency is worthless paper nonsense. That's how we fix the issue, is by fixing the currency. You know, backing it with a fraction of gold, like I've been talking about since time immemorial. No. They got to talk about all these other nonsensical things just to pander to get people to vote. Because they're all zombies. That's what they are. It's the truth. You can't make it up. But they're pandering to the dumbed down. Understand, they're not talking to you. They're not talking to me. They're pandering to the dumbed down. So they have to keep it simple. They have to keep the issues very black and white. They cannot confuse you with anything that might seem a little abstract because they know you can't handle it. Not you specifically, the general population. You understand? This is part of the game that they're playing. This is the game that President Trump has been playing too. He believes that the world is full of mental midgets, and for the most part, the man is 100% correct. Again, they can't walk and chew gum at the same time. He's counting on that. So are the throngs of presidential hopefuls on the Democratic side. They realize there's all of them. Are you kidding me? But if you follow this blog, you have more than a few functioning brain cells. And just one more thing before I let you go. I'm working on a new day trading system for my lions out here, which is unbelievably promising. And of course, when it's done, and I need at least a month or longer to test this in real time, I will release it 100% for free, like everything else that I do. If you want to get a preview of what this looks like, and I'm going to urge you to have a look at this because I don't think there's anything else like it, period, the end, anywhere. In the description of this video is a link to a preview of this system. And again, I'm not selling it. It's going to be 100% for free. Tell me what you think about it. If something you're interested in, I got a lot of work to do on it. But so far, looks good. And you're going to get your own little preview. So again, click on that link in the description of this video. With that said, people, it is Friday. It is Friday, and I'm a happy guy to be here right now, truly. So I'm going to leave you off with my favorite three things. The three things that mean more than anything else to me, honestly. Love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. We need each other. We are not each other's enemies, despite what they're trying to do to us. We maintain that and understand that. Even this guy, whoever he is, we're all going to be better off. This guy does love you a lot from the heart. I'll see you over the weekend sometime to do my markets. A look ahead. Been a crazy week. See ya.